Hey everyone. Okay, I'm going to give an overview of where I got, ask a few questions of people watching this, and kind of talk about the overall project. I've been working on this for about a month this winter. This whole project is something that I just work on when it's cold out, and unfortunately I'm not going to be able to finish it this year, so it'll probably be next winter when it actually gets finished. Uh, Going to kind of give a tour here once again of the main keep. I've kind of finished a lot of the area outside, at least I think I have. One thing I'm looking for is any suggestions. Anybody have any ideas of things that I should do to the outside keep to blend it in better, to make things kind of look really cool and that sort of thing. In the background, you can kind of see some trees coming in. This is really cool to look at when you actually expand out the whole thing with really long-range rendering. Unfortunately, the whole program kind of skids to a halt when you do that. It's even stuttering a little bit right now. Uh, but anyway, I'm going to kind of give a fly around once again of the keep here, if it will do it without having a rendering problem, and take you over to the Caves of Chaos, which the underground portion is now done. Um, my original intention, and I think how I would use this, is I would actually use this in a game with a big monitor, and I would do normal role playing of keep on the Borderlands and the Caves of Chaos, and then I would kind of use this as a visual aid. When I say, hey, we're going this way, then you just start walking down that way. Um, it's even possible you could have two copies of this on the same world, and if you need to change states of the conditions, you could just teleport from one to the next. Say, teleport to a version that has uh, I don't know, a merchant in a wagon here being waylaid or something like that, or a merchant with the drawbridge that's down or something like that. That'd be a possibility. Anyway, we're traveling here along the Western Trail. Now the entire map has been done. Off to the right, if you could see it, there'd be a huge lake, or excuse me, not lake, river, and then you'd have the swamps, and then the fen, the fen and all that, and then uh, uh, the northern woods that they have back, the larch woods that they have, and you got trees up there to the north. Um, Most of this was done in the paint program last year. I waited to the last minute before I actually imported it and started pulling the castle into it, or the keep into it. I wanted to make sure everything was as close to the way I wanted as I could think. Um, I am using a daylight sensor to keep the time mid-morning so that it doesn't go through night modes all the time. I think that's working. I thought that only worked if you were actually in the area where you had the daylight sensor, but I've been working on the keep, and the daylight sensor I have is all the way over at the Caves of Chaos, so it hasn't been going into nighttime, so I don't know. I thought I had to keep it in a live chunk, but I seems to be working okay. Anyway, let's see how long this takes. Uh-oh, a little bit of memory problems. It looks like it's beginning to stutter. That's another thing. If anybody can throw out some good suggestions how to keep these memory problems from having, I don't know if it's a memory leak or if I just have the graphics turned up too high. I certainly don't have my rendering distance very, very big. Um, but anyway, we're on the road that heads off to the west here. I'm not going to bother turning to show you things because it's kind of difficult. All right, you can see on the left there, yeah, I got dead trees. I found a lot of really cool trees that you could blend in using that world paint program. Everything from logs and occasionally dead trees and that sort of thing. Um, Really what's left on this project is I need to do the above ground area for the Caves of Chaos. I need to put in all the miscellaneous encounters, the witches' huts, and the bandits with their overlook on top of their hell. So I need to do all of that. Um, and then just any additional tweaking that anybody can think of that they'd like to see. Oh, I need to import B1 Adventures into the Unknown. I have that all done, but that's all in vanilla Minecraft with a whole lot of redstone. And I do plan to import that, but I think I can probably release this before I I put that in. That's just sort of a bonus section that you might like. And I think I'm going to convert it solidly over to Conquest Reforged as well. Uh, that'd be pretty cool. I don't know how long this is going to take, so if you decide to fast forward through here, that's probably okay. Um, the World Paint program was pretty cool. You find lots of different repositories of these trees. Then you just sort of blend these and you paint your ground cover, you paint your trees, you paint your random rocks, and then they get randomly generated all over the map as you want. Um, and that works pretty cool. That was kind of a big project last year that I was working on as I worked over all of this. It's kind of locked in now since I've imported the keep over. I don't want to try messing with the paint program for small sections anymore. Um, got my road here. I wasn't sure if anybody thinks this road should actually be a much wider road. It's I don't know. Maybe that's what maybe it needs to be, but I think it's okay. Got a few side trails that go off occasionally and that sort of thing. Um, and we begin to turn north here. So it might be a good time to mention some of the issues with this overall map. I think I've mentioned them before. The scale in this map was really messed up. It had contour lines that were 25-foot contour lines and a map where every square on the map was 100 yards, 300 feet. I did use that 300 feet, but with that 25-foot contour, it just didn't make sense. It made the world, for all effective purpose, flat. So I turned those 25-foot contours into 75-foot contours, which made a lot more sense. Makes reasonable hills. I think there was a confusion in the conversion whether those squares on the map were actually 100 foot or 300 foot. They should be at least 300 foot to make for this thing to make any sense for scale. Then, of course, the Cave of Chaos has a huge scale problem. Um, it's 3 times bigger than it should be on the big map. And once again, that scale problem. And so that whole valley area is absolutely huge. So what I did with that is I shoehorned it into the back corner, basically, which is super wide. And then I just took the correct scaled Caves of Chaos and put them into it, all the way into the back side of this. There was a little bit of manipulation I needed to do, but it worked out pretty good. I do have a bunch of videos of making the Caves of Chaos, showing it stripped away as I dug it in. Um, and I've kind of skipped those because, to tell you the truth, I don't really like spending all this time making videos. So instead of making videos, I just kept working on the project, and uh, and that's that. How far do I have to go up here? I can't remember. There's no real strong indication of where you have to turn left to head into the Okay, I've jumped ahead to here. This is the Caves of Chaos area. I pretty much built this into the valley. Um, you can see all the cave openings. The entire underground is completed, all dressed up. I have little boxes here, little squares. That indicates where trees go from the map in the actual game. I'm going to have to import some trees, I think, to get that in there. Everything else here is pretty native. It's kind of hard to tell because the viewing distance isn't very great, but yeah, it is a huge ridge. It goes all the way up. Um, yeah, so I get to dress all this up next, and that will be the Caves of Chaos. Haven't really decided whether I'm going to just put a lot of cliff sides into here or kind of keep it green with just the random cave openings everywhere on the sides. Anyway, that is where the Caves of Chaos and Keep on the Borderlands project is up to now. Thank you.